Okay, let's make a mono print, okay? A mono print means it is a singular print, meaning you only get one, okay? So to do this, I have some Kids Liquid Washable Tempera paint. That is my son's. And I have a cutting board. You could also use a cookie sheet. You could use a brownie pan. You could use some aluminum foil. You could use some parchment paper. You could use wax paper. I wouldn't try plastic wrap just because it doesn't lay down very well. Now, each of those papers is going to give kind of a different effect with the print as well. Okay, just to be aware of that. And then I have some small pieces of paper. So here we go. We're going to start with our paint. Okay, now, because it is tempera paint, I have to work rather quickly. I'm just going to take one color. I can use as many colors as I want. And I'm going to create a picture. Okay, now if you have done, I'm just coming over, I'm just giving myself a little blob of paint off to the side here where it's not going to be in my way. If you've ever made prints with me before, you either made the Collagraph prints that we did this year if you're a 7th grader, or if you are an 8th grader and you were here at the beginning of the year and we made, well, not the beginning, of the middle of the year, we made those holiday cards, okay? So you already know if you're writing words or letters that they need to be backwards because the print's going to be a mirror image, all right? Now, with the mono print, I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to draw out a picture, okay? I'm just going to do something abstract. Now, I can use a paintbrush if I want to. Like I said, I can use multiple colors if I want to. I'm just going to make something abstract. Now, because I have thin layers of paint here that I'm working with, I have to be careful and make sure that I'm working fast enough that it's not drying out, okay? I did this with some of my special need kids at one of my schools, my last school before I was here in Perry, and they thought this was absolutely amazing. And I just gave them one color, and we just worked right on the tabletop, actually. But which you could do at home too. You could just work right on the kitchen table if you wanted. I would make sure that you scrub. So that way you don't have any paint and mom and dad aren't mad at me that you painted on the table. Okay, so but those kids, they were literally amazed every single time. And we had obviously we were at school, so we had colored construction paper that they were able to make their print on, which really did make like a big difference. It looked really cool. They just had some black tempera paint and they went to town. Now theirs started to get dried out just because they were having so much fun drawing around and painting and playing in the paint. So we did use like a spray bottle, and we just, with some water in it, and we just kind of went spritz, 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 just so that way the paint, we kind of rehydrated the paint a little bit so that way it would print, okay? I'm going to kind of come over here and wipe my finger off a little bit. And I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to make my print. I'll put it right on top. So one and done type of thing, okay? And I'm going to use my hand and I'm going to rub. Now when I was in college and I learned how to do this, we actually used sheets of plexiglass, which is a thicker type of plastic. They use it in pictures now too, or not in pictures, in picture frames. It's non-reflective and stuff like that. So we use that. And we used an oil-based paint. So we had a lot of time, and we used paintbrushes and stuff like that. We had a lot of time to paint with it before it would dry out. And then we used our printing presses, and those looked really cool. Okay, so as you can see, most of the paint is gone, and now it's on my paper, and I have a mono print, okay? So I could let this dry and grab another color of paint, and when it's dry, I could draw something else, and I could put this back on there and print another one. In fact, I have some that are drying, just because, you know, this is a fun activity, and yeah, we're quarantined. So yeah, let's see what happens if I add something to. I got this right now. It's not horrible. It's kind of, you know, it is what it is. Let me see here. Let me grab a different color real quick. What color do I got? Ooh, I got purple right here. It's a completely different color. Shake, shake, shake. Got some purple. I'm not even going to clean this surface. I'm just going to squirt out some purple. I'm going to go right in with my finger. And I'm going to kind of do some polka dot things. Okay, so, I mean, it's a mono print. There's lots of different things that you can do. You could make several of them, and then when they're all dry, you could cut them apart and make a collage with them. That's kind of cool. That's fun to do. If you're able to make all the things that I've shown you guys here during our quarantine time, you could, you know, put quite a few of those together if you really wanted to. Okay, I'm going to squirt off, clean off my finger. I'm going to take my print and I'm going to lay it down. It's not quite big enough, but that's okay. I'm going to use my hand. I'm going to rub. I'm not pressing uber hard. This is not like when we make the collagraphs and we have to apply a lot of pressure to try to get them to show up. It's not like that. This is a thicker layer of paint, and it just comes off a lot easier, okay? Ooh, that's pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. Again, if you have like colored paper or even newspaper would be kind of cool, because it's already got that kind of, it's got that gray color to it, and then it's got the black text. So that could be kind of cool. You just have to be careful because that's the printing ink can kind of get on your fingers, and I don't know how exactly it would bleed, but that's kind of cool. That double layer effect. I wonder what would happen if I got some more purple here, so why not experiment, right? Because that's what artists do. We experiment and we see what we can do. And yeah, we make noises sometimes too. We're crazy. Okay? We're having fun. So what will happen? Kind of got that. I'm just going to take this that I just printed with you guys, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do a squeegee sweeping motion. I have no idea what will happen because this is wet, but it's an experiment. Interesting. So I would probably like maybe cut this part off here and maybe cut this part off here, and then I could glue it or tape it once it's dry, obviously, onto another like larger piece of paper or a colored piece of paper, and I could make like a little card with it and send it to somebody. I know I'm telling you guys you can make cards a lot, but you know what? We're quarantined, and people would like to hear from you. Snail mail is always fun to get. I always look forward to getting things in the mail because it's just fun to get mail. And people don't really write letters and stuff anymore, so that would be something super cool to send to like grandma or grandpa or your aunt or your uncle, because people don't really do that anymore. Or your cousin or your friend that you just don't get to see, like actually see, because we are quarantined. So mono prints, pretty easy. Give it a try.